How's everyone doing today? My name is CJ Halleck with CJ Halleck, excuse me, cjhalleck.com. And in this video is going to be the part 2 for logo design. It's one of the things I kind of forgot until the end of the video in part 1, which you can go back and see with the link in the bio or in the description below. If you've not watched that, please go watch that first. But basically, when it comes to your social media, and sometimes in print, you might not want to have a excuse me, rectangular logo. You may want to have something more square or circle, something that will look good when you put it on like Instagram, because it has a circle. It automatically crops your profile picture down to a circle, and having a rectangle inside of it, really, it doesn't show the brand. And it's, you want something that will fit in today's technology. So basically, what I'm going to do is I have the EPS file that I created, and I'm going to go ahead and open that back up. Actually, no, I'm not. Back in Photoshop. So basically, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to make this a more of a, square, if you will, logo. So in doing so, since the canvas is already square and it's a perfect square, we have this little box background layer that we have, and then we can go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck this frame because I'm not going to be using that frame. I'm going to actually come in here, and I'm going to do the same style to give that outline and make it transparent. I guess I could have done that on a new layer, but we'll make a background now. Okay, so now that I have that, stroke's good. Let me go back and make sure that's on the inside. Okay, so now we have that. And what I'm going to do, and that's if you're wanting to go square, right? You can come in, make it smaller so it kind of sits center. And you want to make sure that you have spacing on the outside of it, especially with the profile pictures and stuff, to make sure if you do use square that it shows what's inside the circle. As far let me just do this. If this is going to be your entire profile, you want to make sure that when the Instagram and stuff cuts out the circle in the middle, clicked on it, the circle in the middle here, you want to make sure that it shows up and it doesn't cut off part of your logo. So basically, there's two ways you can do this. I'm going to go ahead and click apply on that to keep that there. And I'm going to do both at the same time and then decide at the end what I want to use. So you can basically do the exact same thing as you did here. But what you're doing is, instead of making it the square, is you're making it a circle. So I'm going to come in here. We're going to use the ellipse tool, and I'm going to basically just make a circle, and then I'm going to come in and I'm going to actually put them where it sits at the edge of the inside of this box. And this is going to make sure that it's everything in like Photoshop or Instagram and all the other ones are set up properly, so you're not having to deal with cutting your image or anything like that off. So you can come down here, check this one, which it's off, I can already tell. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put this in, get that there, and I'll double check this one. Alright, good to go. So now we're going to go ahead and apply, and then we're going to add the stroke to this one. And I can tell you right now, I'm probably going to use this template and do the circle. But I'll tell you, so if you're doing the circle, the one thing you need to make sure you do not forget is to include the spacing on the top and the sides. So that will actually showcase. So there's two ways you can do this. Let me make this the right size. I want it about like that. So let's just go ahead and even that up. And let's go 60. All right. So I'm going to click OK. So basically, what you see here, if you take out the logo, that right there is going to be a template, and I'll go ahead and make sure that I put this live. It's basically going to be a template for your social media profile pics, which is going to be what we're actually going to be putting together next. Or better yet, in the next video when we start, down the list. And it's basically anything inside of this white circle is what's going to be viewed. So if you wanted to, you can actually, and like I said, I'll make this a template for you guys, where you can actually see all the stuff that's going on, with different layers, so you can drop shadows and stuff to make your profile picture stand out. But anyways, we'll get to that in a second. So I don't really like it sitting like this, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here, and because if you remember, we still, and of course you can see this is black, so that's one of the things I forgot to do, is change the color of these. So we're going to just color match on these two. There we go. All right, so now it's all, true black or flat black or whatever you want to call it. So what I'm going to do, because we still have to go into Illustrator in order to turn it in, kind of vectorish, I'm actually going to get rid of the labs on this, and it's just going to be, actually I'm going to get rid of the abs while I'm trying to get some myself. I'm going to just get rid of this section. And delete. And then what this is going to do, actually no, I am going to get rid of that L. Alright, and so now I'm going to actually come in and select the TBF. Nope. Yeah, okay. And then I'm going to stretch it out to make it bigger, while holding shift to make sure that it keeps the ratio right. And we're going to get it to the size we want. Here we go. So I got the TBF. I hit apply. And we'll deselect. And now we're going to come in and make the guides again to make sure we can get all of this center, which the two on the outside, since it's was shaped using the perfect square, I know those are center. So we'll just do 50% and vertical. And 50%. And then now, depending on how you want it, you may want this to be center, and just do that. But because I'm going to do a little bit more to it, I'm going to actually bring this up a hair, and I'm going to merge these in a bit to make sure that I get it right. But no, but for now, let's just do, and we're going to go Arial, if I can find it. There we go. And alright, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to actually come in here, and I'm actually going to, we'll deselect everything to get just the labs into its own layer. I'm going to go ahead and click merge visible, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually come in here with this square, or the selection tool. I'm going to catch the exact height of this L, and I'm going to go ahead and right click under the selection and do layer via copy, and that's going to make that a brand new layer that I can edit and basically mimic what's there. And then I'm also, if you notice, there's a light shadow like line right next to this L, so I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to just go ahead and make sure that's removed and delete. Okay, That way it doesn't accidentally pick up when you're trying to convert it over in Illustrator, and it doesn't give you weird lines or anything. Okay, so now that we have that, I can come up here to this. I can draw this out and make this an actual line that goes across. And the reason for that is what you're about to see now. So we're going to go ahead and bring all this back in. I already know what I'm doing with that. And circle. Alright. So basically, for some reason, something's going on. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to bring this around until it's basically centered or even with this. And then I'll bring the labs. Let me go ahead and bring this up where I want it. Spacing wise. Yeah, I'll do it lower. Okay. So I have that to where it's about even with that T. And then I'm going to bring this over and basically make sure it's even with that bottom line. Alright, so I have that. It's not necessarily where I want it, but you'll see I'll fix it. We'll make sure everything's unselected again, and then we'll merge those two together. We'll center it. Make sure the TBF is centered. Alright, so now I can actually take this, and it won't be as big, but it'll be closer towards the bottom of the circle. So I'm not worried about that. And then I'll go ahead and merge these two together. And then now I'm actually just positioning it inside of the circle. So I'll probably go a little lower and make the TBF kind of focal point here. Make it right at the break on the B. Good enough. All right. So basically that's going to... needs to go higher. There we go. Centered. That's going to be the logo with the exception of one thing. And I'm going to go ahead and this is going to be white. Let's see, color overlay. And make this white. And then now I'm going to go ahead and put that over that line to kind of give it a different look. And you'll see what I mean. Alright, so we have the 310. And it needs to be just a bit smaller. Alright, so now that we have that, I want it to be there and there. And then centered in between. About like that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit this and apply. And then I'm going to merge visible again. And now I'm going to actually come in here and I'm going to drop the white, which is going to make this all transparent. Click OK. I'm going to do a new layer, merge visible. That's going to make all of it the same. And then I'm going to color overlay the entire thing. And then I'm going to come in here and actually make it, just to be sure when I did that there's no gray here on the lines or anything like that. So we're going to come through here, hit OK, OK. And that's going to be the logo for TBF Labs. And I'm actually thinking I might actually use that as the logo itself instead of the one we made earlier. But basically, that's it. And that'll make sure that you have the round circle around it and your logo on your website if you wanted to use this or use it for a bunch of different stuff. And we're going to cover all that in later videos. But for right now, the next thing we're going to do, of course, is we're going to go ahead and, well, get the background on. And then we're going to go File, Save As, JPEG. We're going to make sure we get this TBF Labs. And we're going to go Circle. Alright, now we're going to click on Save. all the way up. Okay. Then we're going to open that into Illustrator. Then we're going to get to the image itself. Double click, image trace, expand. Same thing as before, but you have the B and the A here. Well, no, that should, I don't know. We'll find out. All right, so we're going to come through. There's a lot more white here, and I think that's because the Labs doesn't have the line through it at the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and just uncheck all of these whites to make sure that those shapes don't show up, so it's completely transparent. Come through any whites you see, remove it. All right, so now that we have that, it's 100% good to go. Let's go ahead and zoom in down here. I want to make sure that the 310 is showing up, and it is. And then now we're just basically, all right, same thing as before. We're just going to do File, Save As, TBF Labs Circle, EPS, and save. Okay. And then now you have the circle logo. And what we're going to do with this is we're going to actually, we'll just do 5x5 at 300 at RGB. Alright, so there's going to be a few things we're going to need out of this file that we're going to be used moving forward. The first thing we're going to need is a icon for your site, and you're going to want to, we're doing a new, and it's going to be 512 by 512 pixels, and this is going to be TBF Labs icon. And so this is going to be eventually the favicon and the icon. When people like save your website on their home screen, this will be what shows. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to grab this, copy that, paste there. We're going to get it to the right size. Make sure you're even, center, all that fun stuff. Hit apply. And then we're going to save this and do save for web. This is going to make sure that it's optimized and easy to use. Doesn't take up a lot of time to load. So it's going to be PNG 24. Make sure transparency is checked. Double check. Make sure you're at 512 by 512 and hit save. And then we're going to actually come into the desktop, and I think it was new folder. Yeah, nothing in here. And then we're just going to save it. TBF Labs -icon. Hit save. And that's just the new folder I made for me to keep all this stuff organized. And I didn't do nothing with it. So we're just going to do TBFL Labs. All right. And then now I'm going to just go ahead and, well, it's not letting me save it, so I'm just do TBFL. All right. Oh, it's still trying to save. All right, so I'm going to just do a new folder. All right. And then I'm going to make sure, because you want to, and this is the biggest thing, and I have the biggest issue with this all the time. You want to make sure that when you go through and you're creating all this stuff, that you keep a folder with everything you have in order. So basically, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to delete. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and delete these. No, I'm not. No, I'm going to use that in the website. All right, so I'm going to, and this is basically the breakdown. We have TBF Labs horizontally, which is going to be what I'm using in on my website for my header. Then we have the circle logo, which is the basically the icon for your website. And now we have to go in and get the icon. All right, so now the icon's in there. All right. Okay, so now the next thing you're going to need, if this is going to be your like site logo or whatever, is the profile images that you're going to use for this brand, whether it's, you know, Instagram, Facebook, whatever. And in doing so, you can use this icon. It's 512 by 512. It's big enough for that, but you will see some distortion, especially moving forward with all the new phones and technology and resolutions and screens coming out. The profile picture, I think the default bio on Facebook and Instagram is 800 pixels by 800 pixels. So it will stretch it a little bit. But just to play it safe, I always like to do a new one and do it at 1000 by 1000. So basically what we're going to do is, since I have this as the EPS open, I can come in here right now and we're just going to do File, Save for Web, and we're going to resize this at 1000. Click Save. And then I'm going to rename this, and we're going to go back and make sure we're in the right folder. And then I'm going to rename this TBF Labs ProPic. That way we have that for every time we need to upload that, you know, when we're creating Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. And that should be it. That'll cover what we need out of the logos when it comes to your branding and things of that nature, unless you plan on doing like a watermark image on your cover photos and things to that nature. So this has been part 2 of logo design and image build for your profiles and all that stuff. So once again, I did go a little bit over time, but you know, that's the thing with this project. I'm wanting to record every single step I do so you guys understand along the process as well. So hope everyone's had a great day. Be great, stay boosted, and we'll see you tomorrow. But before you go, be sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and don't forget to hit the bell for notifications when when I put out new videos. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. We'll see you in the next video.